Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Fearfans podcast. I'm your host, Don Elmy, and with me is Kate and Nick. And
Hi.
yeah, Nick and Jill should be joining us soon. So yeah, right now we're just here. Let me just make sure it's going through on the Facebook pages. Hang on, just gotta refresh this. Here. Okay, yeah. For some reason the audience setting just keeps messing up on there. But all right, I got it. All right.
Great.
So yeah, we just held it. Oh, here's Angelo. Hey, Angelo. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, Angelo's been looking forward to this cake because he's a huge fan of Godzilla.
No
And
way. Oh,
oh,
Angelo has to make some comments then.
oh yeah. Same here with Thomas. It seems. Hail to the king. Yes. Yeah, hey Thomas. Hey Senti. Thank you so much for tuning in. So yeah, this year marks the 70th anniversary of of Godzilla. 1954 is when the first Godzilla movie Gojira was premiered, and this film is not only I was saying this before to everyone. This film is not only just a monster movie to me. It's a film with a powerful metaphor, a powerful message about
Yeah.
nuclear weapons.
Yeah, it really is. I can't believe it's 70 years ago. Um, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, 30, and since then, 33 films from Japan alone have been made about for the Godzilla franchise, including the newest one, Godzilla minus one, which is arguably, and I never thought I would say this, but it's the best Godzilla movie ever. They actually
Oh,
finally made a
wow.
Godzilla. Oh yeah, they finally made a Godzilla movie that's actually superior to the original, and I never thought it could happen.
I haven't seen that, but I will definitely put that on my watch list. Definitely need
Oh,
to see that.
it's amazing. Hey Joe, good to
Hi.
see you. Hey Joe, I want to send you a link if you want to join the show. Yeah, just let me know. Yeah, Gojira in 1954, the first ever Godzilla movie with a powerful. Yes, it is, because Godzilla was inspired by the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki at the end of World War II, and so Japan created this movie as a metaphor of nature taking revenge on mankind for the development and use of nuclear weapons. And there's all sorts of there's that theme going all around in this movie, like because the whole premise is that nuclear bomb testing across the Pacific from U.S. military awakened this dinosaur and mutated it into this creature that they call Gojira, which in America would become known as Godzilla.
Yeah, very, very true.
What? Oh yes,
Um,
that's right. I should point out,
oh.
Kate. Angelo has been telling me that Godzilla minus one has yet to be screened in the Philippines, and I still don't get that. It's like if it's reaching so much success here and in Japan, then they should make it international.
Yeah, is there a problem with like the translate? Because I know I'm not sure about the Philippines, but lots of countries dub their films. So I don't know if there's like a question of dubbing
Well,
or.
well, I mean, it's not dubbed in English here. They put subtitles on English subtitles. So,
Oh,
oh, oh,
yeah.
and here is, hey, Jill.
Hi, Jill.
Hi.
Hey, glad you could join us. Yeah. So, yeah. Oh man, the comments are already blowing up here. But
Oh, wow.
yeah. So yeah, we were just talking about how Godzilla was created and how that idea just came to mind. Oh, and like I should mention, I don't think we pointed this out yesterday when we did the screening for the movie in preparation for this, but yeah, the iconic sound effect, Godzilla's roar, was
Mm.
that's like one of the main things people remember about Godzilla is that it was originally created for this film. It was created by using a leather glove against a double bass.
What?
Oh, I did not know
Yes,
that. That's crazy.
that's how it was originally created,
That's so
and
random as well.
yeah, it's like it's like you never expected like something like that to be created from a musical instrument.
No, no, definitely not. Because it's kind of like that screech, isn't it? Almost like
Oh
a
yeah.
screeching sound. Yeah.
And of course, it's been altered over the years, like in many different films. Hey, Jeremy,
Hi,
good to see you.
Jeremy. Happy
Hi,
New Year.
Jeremy.
Philippines is
Happy
the
New
most English
Year.
country. Oh, oh, I didn't know that, Angela.
It's in English. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, so come on, Philippines. Show Godzilla -1. Come on.
Exactly. Yeah,
Needs
exactly.
to get over there.
Here, here. I'm gonna try sending Mark the link so he could join in on this. Or sorry, Joe. I'm just reading
Joe.
his username, Mark Joe. All right, I'm gonna go
Nice.
ahead and send that to him. So, Jared,
Mark.
Kate, what are your thoughts about when first seeing Godzilla? Just seeing where it all began.
Oh man. I mean, I think the first thing that's noticeable is that obviously it's a black and white film. And I guess we'll come to why it's black and white later on. But just just the fact that it's in black and white just gives this, I don't know, that it kind of just gives you this really this kind of sadness to the film just because it's in black and white and there's no color. And when you see Godzilla, I thought it was stop motion, but I was totally wrong. It's actually a guy in a costume, isn't it?
Well, well, for the most part, it is a guy in a costume, but there are
Okay.
some scenes, there are some moments, some shots where I felt like it could have been stop motion, like where he was using the atomic breath. Here,
Yes.
I actually did come across this image here, where here,
Oh,
hey Tom,
hey.
and hey
Hello.
Joe,
Hi,
Hey.
Joe.
great,
Hi,
great to have you
Joe.
guys here.
Yeah, man. Had to show
Yeah.
up.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
Happy New
Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, happy New Year, everyone.
Yes, happy
Great to
2024.
see you guys. Yeah.
Oh, there's there's that roar, that iconic sound effect.
And
That
that
was
is
in
a
my
leather glove on a double bass.
Yes.
Wow.
That was this movie's version of it. I mean, it did change throughout the years.
Oh yes.
And eventually become what we knew.
I have it on.
Wow. But yeah,
Nice.
Jill, what did you think? Like, what were your first, like, for me, it was just the fact it was in black and white, and it's just like this
Yeah.
overwhelming sense of sadness, and it's just classic. It really is, and
Yeah,
it's
I love it.
terrifying. Yeah.
It is. I think it's just more, to me, it's more like you focus more on like the scripting, the storytelling. Like I love black and white films, all the classics. I'll still even watch musicals just because I just love the storytelling that goes with it. There's so much content, to it, and
Yeah.
symbolism, and even irony. So it's like I just love the way they do the filming, even though it's like a horror with the monster and everything. But they really show sympathy with the people, like their characters, and just getting really emotional. So you kind of you dive into it because of the black and white. It helps you focus more on the whole story, I think.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
totally agree.
Everything. Oh yeah. Everything about the characters, their emotions with what's going on, the conflicts, it all really just felt genuine.
And some scenes are so hard to watch, like especially the scenes with the kids. I was just like, yeah, it's very, very emotional, some of the scenes in it as well, because it gives you kind of flashbacks to, what it's like in war, and it's horrendous. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what they were going for with this film.
Mhm.
With they were showcasing like the effects of the atomic bomb through this monster. Yeah, because this thing, Godzilla is radioactive, so any place he goes, he leaves like not only is he destroying a city, he's leaving radiation behind. Because it showed that scene like after he destroyed part of Tokyo, like it showed kids like being tested on a Geiger counter, giving off radiation. So anyone who comes in contact with him, becomes radioactive.
Yeah.
That's one of the, and not only that, he also has the ability to use, like, his main power is the atomic breath, which he uses to destroy, just about anything. And I think as a lot of people have said in the past that he breathes fire, but that's the atomic breath is not fire. That's inaccurate. It's actually I was just telling you guys this yesterday. It's a beam of concentrated radiation.
There's no escaping that.
The
Definitely.
thing I couldn't get past, even as a kid, when I saw this, is I could plainly tell that was Perry Mason. Okay. And to me, Perry Mason playing a guy named Steve Martin just seemed really weird to me, because Steve Martin was a totally different guy for me. He's just a wild and crazy guy, like
you're referring to the American version of this film, which came out 2 years later. Yes.
Really? Was it? I thought it was the same one. See, I should have watched this with you guys the other night.
I have
night.
both. Yeah, see, I have both
King of
because that's the thing.
Was it King of Monsters?
Yes, it was called Godzilla King of the Monsters, the American version. I mean, this has both versions. There's the original Japanese version from 1954, and the American version called Godzilla King of the Monsters, released in 1956.
Right, and he was like the only non-Japanese person, non-Asian person in it, pretty much, if I remember correctly. And he actually went on to portray the same character in different Godzilla movies over time.
He did in Godzilla 1985. Yes, I remember.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Steve Martin, really?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't think they intended the name after that.
They didn't know who he was.
Yeah, but if you look at movies, that's a common thing over time. You know, using somebody else's name, and then all of a sudden that person's famous. You know.
While Steve Martin may have been born by the time this movie.
Yeah, he wasn't famous yet.
Yeah. So they didn't know who he was, and he probably wasn't called Steve Martin.
You know, back when I was a kid, these were a big thing for us, watching Godzilla movies. We only had 3 channels.
Yeah.
You know, and the biggest thing was the Saturday morning cartoons and watching Godzilla movies. You know, whenever they were on.
Oh yeah, I remember when I was little.
Yeah.
No, actually, you know, like Don said, I always thought he was breathing fire. I didn't know about the radiation, thing. But it makes more sense now.
I have to agree with Angelo, like 100%. That scene is just harrowing and it's devastating. That's the scene that got me, definitely.
Oh yeah, that was pretty emotional scene. The destruction of that city, like where she had like that mother like is just holding her kids, like because they knew they were all about to die, and that's just
especially for 1953, and like that's huge, because a lot of films around that time, weren't so dramatic in that way, horrendously, but
Yeah, another shocking scene was where it showed like that news reporter basically doing commentary on what was going on in the city while as Godzilla was moving towards them. Then when they were in that tower, and basically they said, "Yeah, this is it for us. Goodbye." Right as Godzilla was tearing down the tower down.
Yeah,
man,
isn't it amazing though how that movie turned out with the technology they had back then?
Yeah.
Yes, I do have an image here that I wanted to share where. It shows what they did with as far as effects for bring Godzilla to life. Like here's what they did, because we said that it was done with a costume. Here, this is it. So
they're giant guys, man.
Yeah, everything, all the buildings that show Godzilla destroying, all miniatures.
Yeah.
And it probably took them forever to construct those miniature towns.
Yeah,
oh yes,
definitely. The only thing I can't unsee are the thighs. Like Godzilla's thighs are huge.
Yeah.
Is that kind of dinosaur?
Yeah,
thing?
I mean,
I don't know.
He is a mutation of a dinosaur, so
Jurassic period.
Yeah, Jurassic period, which was about 150 million years ago. I'm trying to remember if did they mean 150 million years ago or 120 million? But but in the movie they said about 2 million years ago, which is inaccurate. I think that could be a mistranslation. Yeah, like as far as the English subtitles went. But
perfect.
While the upper body of Godzilla may have changed throughout the years through the different movies, he always had that pedonkadonk though. Those thick upper thighs and the.
And that's right. And later on in the series, they said that Godzilla actually has 2 hearts. One is in his head, and the other is where his tail meets his torso.
Huh?
Not 2 hearts, 2 brains. Not 2 hearts.
Oh.
Sorry, 2 brains.
One
brain is his head. The other is in his on his backside.
So he's got a brain in his ass. So he is a guy.
Yeah, he's a guy. They think with 2 heads.
Oh yeah. But yeah,
Just kidding.
and and the most and the thing that's terrifying about Godzilla is his durability. Like he's able to take so many, like almost there's almost nothing that can kill him. Not guns, not missiles, nothing. Like yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's scary.
you show what happens. It shows what happens where they fire the tanks at him, they fire machine guns. Nothing can take him down because
Yeah.
if he's able to, because he was created from the blast of an atomic bomb. So if he was able to take the blast of an atomic bomb, nothing could, and still take it and evolve, then nothing can really kill him. That's what his dog?
I hope so.
Yeah, Joe has dogs.
Either that or
It's
somebody's
my
in
dog.
the
I'm gonna go try to close the door. Maybe she's out
No,
there because Mama's got food.
No, dude,
Aw.
that's fine. I was just wondering. That's all.
She gets a little loud because she's a husky.
Oh,
They're
I like that.
very vocal. Very vocal.
Very vocal. They talk a
You know,
lot.
I'm second guessing myself now though. Godzilla could not be a guy
What?
because did not Godzilla have children at one point?
Maybe not the
adoptive.
first.
Well,
adoptive.
mainly I think it would be like adoptive children. Like
Really?
like that's where they're like the same species as him. That's happened before in the series.
Because that's where the idea of Godzuki came from for the cartoon that they had in the 80s.
Oh wow!
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm
I
going
forgot
back,
all
man.
about that cartoon.
Godzilla, and Godzuki. I swear to God, I'm not making it up.
No, you're not. I remember it, but the things you tend to remember.
I must have watched it if I remember it. I just don't remember watching it.
Oh, here. What is the percentage of a person having two brains?
Well,
I
Steve
never
Martin
actually
had
thought-
one, actually. Because there was a movie with Steve Martin called The Man with Two Brains.
Yep, that was a good movie.
Yes, it was.
Steve Martin. Yeah, I hear he's retiring.
I thought he already did. I mean, the last thing he's been doing is that series with Martin Short on, what is it, Hulu or whatever?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, where they're like detectives or something. I don't know what the hell they are.
But yeah, like when I hear you, when I saw the American version, Godzilla King of the Monsters, and I saw his name was Steve Martin, I'm just like, wait, what? And it's also worth noting that the actor who played him in that, Raymond Burr, was also the villain in Rear Window.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the
I
killer.
like that one.
It's a classic.
He also played one of the bad guys in that John Candy movie where he hit his head and went into a coma and went into the soap opera that he wrote for. Oh my God, I can't remember the name of that movie. Oh my God.
I just watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles last night.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's a
Again.
good comedy.
That's a great. Isn't that a Thanksgiving movie?
It takes
He's going
place
to-
around
yeah,
there.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Oh, and just so you guys know, Nick should be signing on real soon. He's celebrating his dad's birthday, so he's got a dinner going on. So he said he'll try to join. Yeah.
Yeah. Happy
So-
birthday, Nick. Or
Happy
Nick's
birthday,
pickle dad.
Dad.
Pickle Nick's dad. Nick, pickle dad.
Daddy, Nick's daddy.
Aw.
And I just love in the very beginning of Gojira where it just shows like all these ships that are going down that are being hit with a blast. Yeah, it makes you wonder what is causing this. It's like, wow. I mean,
It
they do
makes
kind of
you-
somewhat.
Yeah.
Go
Also,
ahead.
don't know. Like, can you just imagine, like, if that actually happened, what can you do to stop Godzilla? Like, what can you do in that situation?
Well, now we
It's
have
just
nuclear
terrifying.
weapons and stuff, which
Yeah,
they
but,
didn't
like,
have back then. Yeah.
Didn't he have the atomic bomb like blast in his face and like
Try
Yeah,
to
I mean,
catch
nuclear-
him.
switch on him?
Yeah, but nuclear weapons are what created Godzilla. More nuclear weapons will do nothing to him.
Right. It's like there's no. If it was like real, I don't think you'd be able to destroy him too easily.
No. I mean, Godzilla has died before in like several films, but it's taking him out is easier said than done.
It's like Jason, though. He just keeps coming back out of the water. And...
Oh, yeah. And they create, and the guy named Gojira was actually a combination of. I looked this up years ago. It was a combination of two different Japanese words: the Japanese word for gorilla and the Japanese word for whale. it's like
Huh.
the reason why they combine those two words is because Godzilla has demonstrated the power of both those animals. It's like powerful, like a gorilla. It's like animalistic, but it also comes from the water. So whale.
Yeah, that's good. Is this
Oh,
before
yeah.
King Kong or after King Kong? This
Oh,
film.
this was released after King Kong. King Kong was
After the
1930.
original, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder if that's why they went with gorilla, because like King Kong destroying cities.
And there was a band named Gojira too.
There is.
Oh.
I've looked into that.
Are they still around? I don't know if they.
Not sure.
Yeah, I don't know either. I remember them.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember any songs. But I remember them.
I'm guessing you're bringing up King Kong because there have been a couple of times where they've clashed. Like that third. There was one Godzilla movie from way back where it was called King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah.
And they just recently did one too in the last however many years
Yes.
it's been.
And they're making another one.
Two of them, didn't they?
Yeah, they're making another one.
When they started doing that, they also started kind of making Godzilla the good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because Godzilla, he's like been on the line between good and bad with Japan ever since this film. Sometimes he protects Japan from like threats that are more dangerous than him. Like there's other monsters that they introduce into the series, which I wanted to bring up. I have some images here.
Mothra.
Yep. Well, one of the first monsters that he ever fights is the queen of the monsters, Mothra.
Yep.
It looks like something from Power
Well,
Rangers.
you know what? I remember that in black and white, though.
I think this is from the one that came after that. Yes, Godzilla versus Mothra.
Wow, I'm terrified of moths. Actually, they really creep me out because they always fly on my face.
And that looks pretty real too.
Yeah.
Then there was another favorite of mine is Destroyer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which ironically was created by the Oxygen Destroyer, the weapon that was used to kill Godzilla.
That looks cool.
They try to take down one monster and then end up creating another. The irony.
Oh no, with wings as well.
Oh yes. Then there was let's see. Oh, here's another one.
Mechanical.
Another one of his most iconic. Another one of the most iconic villains, Mecha Godzilla, a mechanical version of Godzilla.
Yep.
I remember that.
And there was a Hydra or something too, wasn't there?
Hydra?
Yeah, there was a Hydra
something with like
3 heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're referring to his
arch
enemy.
like a flying turtle.
Yeah, you're referring to Godzilla's arch enemy, and that's this King Ghidorah.
Yeah.
Yep, Ghidorah.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh yeah, yep. The 3-headed golden dragon from space.
Looks like Tiamat from Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out of all the monsters. Oh yeah, of all the monsters that Godzilla's face, this one is among the most iconic as far as his enemies go.
I love dragons.
Yep. Oh yeah, they actually made a version of him in the the 1991 film Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, where he like fights King Ghidorah, but Ghidorah ends up coming back as Mecha King Ghidorah, a mechanical.
Wow.
I mean, I could show you guys that if you want. Here.
Yeah.
I don't think that would look right. It's
Mecha
okay to
King.
make Godzilla mechanical, or King Kong mechanical, but a flying creature with 3 heads. And then a little bit too much metal.
The wings wouldn't work. They'd need jet engines.
Mechanical wings. Yeah. Here, let's see. Open image. Here. Got it. Okay, here, let me just zoom in on this image. I hate when it does this. Okay.
Yeah.
Present. There it is. Yeah, so this is Mecha King Ghidorah.
You know what? I seem to recall seeing that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It only appeared in one film.
Wow.
It looks like the wings have been blasted through in that picture.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, that was battle damage. Godzilla used its atomic breath on it. So.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, its breath is powerful. It'll destroy just about anything.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Isn't it true that in the Philippines they use dragons as a symbol to scare away evil spirits?
I'm not sure. Ask Angela
Maybe
about that.
Angelo will know. Will know. Yeah. Maybe Jill. Yeah.
I don't
don't
know all my superstitions.
Yeah,
Oh,
I seem to
hey,
remember.
Chris. I had these toys. Love the cartoons. Oh yeah, cartoons. Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, hey Nick.
Hi, Nick.
Oh, wow, man, he's chillaxing,
Hi,
man.
Nick.
Yeah. Sorry,
Where's Dad?
We were having a special birthday dinner for my dad. As today is my dad's 65th birthday. So, of course, I definitely like to wish my dad a happy birthday for him. So he's been having a good
Happy
day.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Pickle Dad.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, here, Leon's asking, how is everyone? Doing great, Leon. Yeah.
Leon.
Yeah, I'm doing much better. My cold's going away.
That's good.
My pink eye went away.
Oh, yeah.
Yay.
Oh, it is. Oh, yeah, I was going to ask that.
Thanks to these things here.
Oh, that's great.
You got some eye drops then.
Oh yeah, needed them.
Yeah.
All right. So
Scott, no, it's not.
Nick.
It's not my birthday. It's my dad's birthday.
Yeah.
So
Dad.
yeah. So Nick, we were just talking about how well Chris just brought up the fact that there were toys in the cartoons. Yeah, because that's the thing. Godzilla was like widely marketed to both adults and kids alike. I mean, there's been, beyond the movies, there were cartoons, there were toys, there were video games. I still remember that one game that I played on the GameCube, Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee.
Destroy All Monsters. I still have my copy to this day.
Oh, nice.
Same.
I have a funny story actually. Was it 2000, one of the Godzilla films, when they redid it in the year 2000? Oh, that's so cool.
Still have it.
Is it the from Toho Company Limited, or which one are you talking about, Kate?
It was the one that was set in the States, and it was around the year 2000 that it came out. Because I remember I was like 9 or 10 at
Actually,
the time.
I think that might have been the 1998
98.
American Rip.
Oh, maybe it was
American
98.
remake. Yeah. See,
If it-
Germany slowed down. 1998.
If it took place in New York and it had a few Simpsons cast members, then
Yes.
yes, it was that one.
Yes, it was that one. And I distinctly remember seeing it, and we went to a KFC, and it was like a really big treat that we went to KFC, and I got the kids' meal, and I got a Godzilla hand puppet thing, and it it made noises. Does anyone remember that?
You know what? I actually
It was
do
a
remember
cartoon.
that. I still remember that like yesterday.
That's
That was,
Godzuki
over
in
25 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, Tom
That's
showed
epic.
us this. This is the original cartoon.
Yep,
Yeah, it's
Godzilla and
Hanna-Barbera.
Godzuki.
Wow. That's
Now,
awesome.
I actually found out that they say that there was some popular misconception about that cartoon was that when they showed that in Japan, they actually used supposedly Godzilla's trademark roar for the cartoon, although it turned out that was later debunked. That actually didn't happen. And plus, when they allowed Hanna-Barbera to make that cartoon, the only thing Toho said that you were allowed to use was the character. You could not use anything or anyone else from the series, including even his trademark roar. So Toho was very strict about it.
Right.
My man. Yeah, and Jeremy's saying right here that the one from 1998, that's the female one. Well, technically that Godzilla does technically that version of Godzilla didn't have a gender. It was hermaphroditic. It was reproducing asexually. And it had no time breath. Well, it's also debatable whether or not it was fire. It just blew its breath in. In that version, it was blowing its breath into fire, so his breath could have been flammable.
Yeah.
That 98 version, I remember it really well because that's when the Edwards Theater opened here, and I started managing that. And it was a huge hit. Like our lines we didn't have a theater like that here, like a megaplex with an IMAX at the time in 98. So, it was like huge deal for everyone and just all the Godzilla novelty that we had. It was just a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I
Really
remember.
memorable.
Yeah, I was. That was sort of the way many of us American kids back then were. Like, introduced to Godzilla. Not from Japanese versions. It was from the 1988 movie. That's because I had one of the toys back then. That it was like it was like this Godzilla model that you turn its leg and it makes the roaring sound.
Cool.
Nick and I actually know a guy, Ted Van's son, who, while I may not talk to him really anymore, he'll always be a friend. But he is obsessed with Godzilla. He has pretty much like every Godzilla toy that has ever come out. He's trying his best to get that collection, to make it like the perfect collection. And the last time I saw him, it's been quite some time, but dude had like 2 sets of shelves with Godzillas on them from the bottom to the top, and then on top of the shelves themselves, and then random ones around, little keychains, like everything you can think of.
Wow.
Even the ones that were like little mechanical ones that would like walk a little and then make the roar, and then the little red stuff would glow at the mouth, and or the one actually had smoke coming out of its mouth.
Yeah, but
Really?
They didn't just make toys off those movies. You had all the merchandising. T-shirts, pajamas, the whole works.
Cups.
Yeah, comic books.
I mean, if you even go to Japan today, they got like everything that has Godzilla on it. I mean, he's obviously become an icon to Japan. Like, because I had someone, because I met someone a few years ago who went to Tokyo, and like literally, like every corner that he went, there was something with Godzilla on it. There was like a building that had him on it. There was like a street sign, like a street crossing. He was on newspapers, and he's like, and it's not even just merchandise. I mean, they feature him in other movies and other shows, commercials, music videos, or cartoons and Japanese production. I mean, it's just he's all over the place.
He went from being terrorizing the town to being their hero.
Yeah, exactly.
He does from time to time. There was one film where he actually defended Japan from a monster that was created by pollution, a Hedra.
Yeah.
Godzilla. Godzilla versus the smog monster, as it's called here in America.
And if he's the icon for Japan, what would you say the icon would be for America? I mean, well, I guess Superman, right?
I thought it was Mickey Mouse.
Well,
Captain America?
Superman supersedes Mickey Mouse, I think, in comic books anyway.
Yeah,
the action comics. And
in
all that.
Comic books, I would say it would be Superman.
Plus, Disney just lost the rights to Mickey Mouse.
I know.
They cannot copyright that anymore. Now
What?
it's free to use. So everybody use Mickey
How
Mouse.
did they
He's free
lose?
to use.
Wait a minute. How did they lose the rights to Mickey Mouse? Something that was created by Disney to begin with.
They could still create with him, but they can't solely claim the rights to him anymore.
It's public domain now.
Yeah, and they also said too, not to get off topic, their first like ever cartoons they made with them, by about 3 years from now, I believe, they're going to be considered public domain. They're no longer going to be like strictly held. So that's even going to their cartoons they made.
I think Steamboat Willie has been public domain for a little while now.
Yeah.
But he wasn't called Mickey at the time. So it was different. But yeah,
Yeah, Jeremy.
Yep.
So you and Jeremy had a discussion about copyrights in public domain.
Yeah.
Oh yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes, we did in
there's
British literature.
there's no way Japan. There's no way that Toho would ever allow Godzilla to become public domain. Yeah, like it will always be theirs. And
this is Tom's World is not public domain either.
Well, you know what? If you think about it too, that actually brings up obviously another Japan iconic monster, because obviously almost 10 years after the original Gojira was made, 1965 saw the release of the movie Gamera, which obviously was was made to rival the success of the Godzilla.
Yeah, the flying turtle.
Yep, he's got the Gamera franchise right there. And
I remember that.
Yeah, ever since then, they've been trying to make a crossover with Godzilla versus Gamera, but they haven't been able to.
That was my favorite as a kid.
They were trying that for ages. trying to cross over Godzilla and Gamera because they've been box office rivals from the very beginning.
See, the way I've heard about it lately
they
is
never did it.
The reason why they haven't done that is I think it was in the early 2000s where at first were Daiei Motion Picture Company, that's the company for Gamera, wanted to make what was going to be called Gamera versus Godzilla, but Toho refused. But even before then and afterwards, they really wanted to make this crossover. However, Toho Company Limited would only allow to use, regardless of which company was going to use the character. Toho said they can only use that character if Godzilla wins. But Daiei refused that because they wanted Gamera to win. So since then, they cannot reach an agreement.
Well, I don't think they're going to.
What's that?
Because think about it. If you owned one of the other production company, you'd want your character to win.
Yep.
So that feud's going to go on forever.
Exactly.
Gamera versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, no, we want our name to come first. No, we want our name to come first,
Yeah. Is it like Alien versus Predator?
Very much.
Yeah, but that actually happened.
Yeah. It did.
Very much. I mean, since then, there's kind of been basically a bitter rivalry between those two film companies.
Oh, totally.
I'd love to see it, though. If they ever made it, I'd pay to watch that one. I'd pay to go see it. I grew up on all those films as a kid. That's all we had. 3 channels and, and if you were lucky to have a TV in your own room or your own TV in a basement with your brothers or whatever, you were able to watch anything other than what your parents were watching.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like I remember all those times when I was little, like renting all kinds of Godzilla movies, the majority... all of which I actually have in my collection here.
That actually reminds me, I got to get my copy because I got a little story.
I couldn't rent movies when I was a kid.
I get it.
There was no such thing yet.
Oh yeah. Like back then I had a similar experience. And it just it wasn't like today where you could just look up and watch whatever Godzilla movies you wanted. Yeah, I had to I had to access to the ones that were just available, which were kind of scarce here in America back in the 90s.
Man, I clicked off the screen for 1 second and the couch ate Nick.
Is there a movie about a killer couch? Maybe.
I don't know. If not, we should make one.
Oh,
yeah.
Let's make it.
Low budget.
Make it like famous couches, like the couch from Friends, the couch from Married with Children, the couch.
Don't forget the one from Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, it'd be kind of like the bed that ate Johnny Depp in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Can't be worse than the rubber tire.
Oh.
Just can't.
So true.
All right. What do you got, Nick?
So before I show this, I got a little story to tell you. This actually was from over 20 years ago, but you talked about Don running Godzilla movies. Over 20 years ago now, if you guys didn't know, this house that I live in, we actually had a house fire. And we actually literally almost lost everything. I was only 8 or 9 years old at the time, but here was the strangest part. A few days prior, I happened to go to the library. Of course, this was still during the VHS era, 2002. And I happened to have rent Godzilla, King of the Monsters, the Americanized version from 1956. And it took 3 years for the house to be fully rebuilt after this fire. But one of the survivors happened to be this tape. And when we went to the library, I mean, we had to explain we had a fire basically at our house. And, they said, okay, it's no big deal, no problem. You can keep it. But this is among one of the few survivors from the fire. And I thought it was kind of a strange coincidence.
I was going to say, man, the late fees must be out the door, man, at this point.
No shit.
You probably owe like $5.
What's that say? Due date, July 2002.
Yep.
Man,
a lot.
Man,
you could have bought yourself in a whole new house for those late fees.
You owe
And
a
it's
whole
still-
dollar now, man.
and it still works. And you know what? What's even stranger? It even still has some of that burning smell, that burns like kind of that ash smell from the fire. So almost like as if this movie really went through a real life Godzilla movie. It's like it's like our house was actually destroyed by Godzilla.
You know, the biggest problem with those, you're lucky it's still actually got tape.
Yes, it does.
Oh yeah.
Because over time, I have found, because I owned a video store back when it was all VHS, and I had a good chunk of those VHS movies. But over time, when you pull them out, if they're not in plastic cases like that, and they're in like the original boxes, just slid in the boxes, you pull one out sometimes and you go to play it and it ain't going to play. Well, when you open up the lid, press the button and open up the lid, the tape's gone.
I know.
It
Right.
disintegrates over time.
There's
That's
one-
why they stopped making VHS. Plus, the more you play them, it's like a cassette tape. The more you play it, the more, you know, especially if it gets eaten or something like VCRs used to do. They used to eat the worse the playback's going to be over time.
The
Right.
first
You're
VHS tape we
absolutely
ever
right.
owned
I
was from a video
discovered this
store.
also on the. I just discovered this on the front of the tape. Looks like there was a previous stamp to it too. So this kind of indicates how long it's been.
Well, there's also a bar in there. There's also a magnetic strip in there somewheres. If it's not under that label, there's a magnetic strip under the lid where the tape is.
Right.
On the inside of the plastic, because it'll set off the thing on the way out if you grab the movie without checking it out, you know.
Yep.
And I can attest to the videotapes not lasting over time, because the first videotape we ever owned, and I remember when I was a kid, it was The Breakfast Club. We rented it, and our VCR ate it a little bit, so they made us pay for the whole thing. So that was the only tape we had in the house. So we watched it over and over and over, and that thing.
I love that one.
Just by the end, it was just like so jumpy and it was ridiculous. But to this day, I can still speak every word of the entire script as the movie's going.
Oh yeah, like another one of the major flaws in VHS tapes is the audio is not that great. You know, like but then when DVDs were introduced, you know, they like completely revolutionized, you know, the home video market, and then everyone's like, okay, we want this, but we want this in higher quality, and they're like, okay, here's Blu-ray. Okay, we want this. Okay, we want this in even higher quality. Okay, here's 4K.
Yeah, I have not. It's been a while, but I have not tested it lately. But I've been kind of curious to see how the quality would look. I mean, I'm sure obviously it's a lot different than when it was when I got it back in 2002. But it's always worth a shot at one of these days. We still have a VCR.
I kept some of my VHS tapes because you ain't gonna find them anywhere else.
That's I was just. What do we got here?
What is that?
Now, let's zoom in on that one. Humanities.
Oh.
Ultimate Death Experience. Inhumanities.
There's two of these. I just grabbed the ones that were on the first show. Basically, this has got live footage of mutilation, dismemberment, point-blank assassinations, black magic, voodoo, and bizarre rituals, human sacrifices, and unthinkable scenes of torture and mayhem.
Jeez.
And
oh my goodness.
if you look at the bottom, right down here, there's a big warning label.
They're on.
Wow.
Warning. It's a little blurry on yours.
It looks like it says warning. Nom, 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 nom.
Oh, wait.
Not everything hearted. This film contains shocking scenes of graphic violence.
Yep. Okay, we can see it now. Wow.
Yep.
I've never heard of that video before.
I have
There's
4
one
VHS
called,
tapes.
this is Inhumanities 1, and there's another one called Inhumanities 2. These were actually from my video store that I owned.
Wow.
I took some of the videos with me. Now this collection's not even open. Well, this one's not even open. The other one is, but you'll recognize this one right away.
Faces of Death too. The one that was completely fake.
Yeah. And then there's the original.
Yes.
Wow.
with
Faces
a
of
band
Death.
in 46 countries.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Of death.
I think I have 4 tapes here, and that's all I have. I have
I've
The
got
Matrix,
I've
Wayne's
got all
World.
5 of
Raw.
the I've got all 5 of the Faces of Death plus the 6th one that tells you how some of them were faked and staged.
Oh,
Why
Princess
do you have the
Bride.
Princess Bride?
I
Huh?
love The Princess Bride.
Love it.
Well,
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys,
Those
Aw.
Disney VHS movies can be worth a lot of money,
Oh,
Yeah,
my
they
mom
are.
has them all.
Mm.
especially
you
if
guys
you, especially if you got
The Little
the Little
Mermaid with the
Mermaid one.
penis.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah,
We got it.
my sisters had that, and so I wanted to mention one thing. Wanted to like mention more about the message about Godzilla, like saying about as far as nuclear weapons. They actually not only do they use Godzilla for that, but there was also one character who invented something that ended up destroying Godzilla in the end. Dr. Sarazawa, when he created the oxygen destroyer. Now that also adds on to the whole movie's message about the dangers of introducing nuclear weapons, because it's like when you like see Dr. Sarazawa, how he has invented a weapon that may be as dangerous, if not worse, than the atomic bomb, the oxygen destroyer, which destroys the oxygen in the water and completely disintegrates living things in the water. And he was afraid that this would be used as a weapon that would end up being
Mm.
the end of mankind, which is exactly the same way that J. Robert Oppenheimer felt after his creation and demonstration of the atomic bomb.
Yeah, there's a lot of parallels there, isn't there?
it's
Oh yeah.
always it's that popular theory, and I think we've been seeing it time and time again. Where and of course, it's something that not just occurs in movies; it obviously occurs in real life, where we invent something that you know that more or less not really benefit humanity, but in a way to kind of benefit, especially war or something like that. But the scary part is, once everyone discovers, they all want a piece of the cake afterwards. They all want it
Mm.
done, and that's when they could use it to their advantage. And like I said last night, as a result, that could wipe out the entire human race or even the planet itself. And that's the scary part when it comes to new inventions, like in this case in Gojira with the oxygen destroyer.
Yes. It's like there's that conflict. It's like they need something to destroy Godzilla, but Sarazawa's afraid that if he makes the action to destroy a public, it would end up falling into the wrong hands, or or the government would force him to make them for them, just
Or
like
terrorists would
the
try to get their hands
yes,
on them.
yeah,
well, it's like
Yeah.
just like they do now. Start trying to make something, that might help humanity, and then somebody tries to find a way to weaponize it.
Yep.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I was just looking at the comments when we were talking about the couch eating Nick, and somebody
I didn't
said,
even notice.
Chris, oh yeah, when I clicked off the screen when I came back, you were going. I said, man, I clicked off the screen for a second, and the couch ate Nick, and we were talking about a horror movie about that, and somebody it was Chris Binder, Killer Sofa 2019. It's a movie. It really.
What? All I can think of is that opening Simpsons skit when all the couches come to life.
Yeah, then they just start chasing them.
Power Rangers could take him. Oh, Power Rangers could take the Godzilla. Oh, with the Megazord. Oh,
Well, maybe.
yeah. So
I don't know about
Chris,
that.
I don't know about that.
Ultraman could.
I don't know. Has the Megazord gone against a radioactive monster?
The closest thing I could ever go to
No,
Godzilla.
that's controlled by what? 5 kids?
Yeah, they need Ultraman instead.
I was gonna. That's exactly
There
what I
we
was going
go.
to say. The closest one I could
That
take
is something
Godzilla
else
down
I
is
forgot
Ultraman.
about.
Yeah.
And another conflict that I noticed in Gojira is where, Mikasa, where she's like trying to keep like her promise to not tell people about what about Sarazawa's weapon, the oxygen destroyer, and also her father is like a scientist who was like fascinated by Godzilla and wanted to figure out
Mm.
why Godzilla exists. He's against wanting to kill him right away, and like all of this. Both of these questions are like resolved when
Right, Todd.
they see the devastation of what Godzilla had done to Tokyo, and they said, you know what, Godzilla needs to die. And then Serizawa said, okay, I'll use the oxygen destroyer to kill it. Yeah. So
what I like about
end,
what I like about the scientists in that movie, and it's something that you often don't see very often, actually, because when they were talking about that press conference first, is they immediately, when they didn't know, I mean, it was one of the few times where not just him, but even the community itself realized that this was not something, that was known to them. If you look in movies like from North America and Europe, and if that's the case over there, they'll often think, well, there's got to be some type of scientific explanation for it. They'll be very skeptical about it. But if you look like through Japan and some of the other Asian countries, it's like they don't deny it. It's like they accept what it is immediately, but they just can't figure out exactly what it is. That's what I find interesting.
Yeah, but you got the scientists also wrestling with their morals too.
Yeah.
And you don't have that in a lot of the American films either.
You don't.
You got mad scientists. It's like kill them. I'm not going to be concerned of the consequences. And here it's like, well, do we kill it or do we want to study it more and see what its purpose is here?
Man, when I hear mad scientist, you would think the first person I would think of would be Rick, but it's not. It's not. The first person I think of for some reason is the dude from Reanimator.
Oh.
That's a good movie.
Reanimator.
That is.
It is a great movie. One of the best H.P. Lovecraft based works.
I think Frankenstein.
And Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Oh yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah.
When I think of mad scientists, I always think of Doc from Back to the Future.
Great.
He's a good one.
God.
That's
I wouldn't say he's a mad scientist, but
Yeah, I
he's
don't
not
know
mad.
why
He's
it pops in my
Correct.
head.
It's more the word for him.
nutty. He
Eccentric.
could be a nutty professor.
Well, it's still interesting in the case with Gojira, though, is that there is no mad scientist involved. I mean, it is kind of like a scientific creation, but without the mad scientist in this case.
Right. It's like Godzilla is not just the work of some mad scientist trying to create a monster, for his benefit. But Nikki,
you made it.
I just made it. Just want to do a little quick hello.
Wow.
I won't be too long, but hi, how are you?
Right. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, and nice seeing everyone again quickly. We're just currently driving around. We've got 3 hours before we get home, so can't hear anything? Okay.
No, I heard the turn signal of your car.
There we go. Hi, guys.
Boy, it looks nicer there than it is here.
Wow.
There's hubby.
hello.
God, he's driving on the wrong side of the car.
Yeah,
You forgetting that. It's like that over there, too.
Oh.
Yep, there's Peanut.
Hi.
Say hi.
We're going to drive past the big sheep.
And we've got a big sheep coming up, if you can see it. Hang on.
Sheep?
Sheep. Hang on, we'll pull
Well,
in.
let me zoom. I'll zoom in on it. Hang on.
Oh, geez.
Oh.
1 minute. Hang on. Nick, 2 secs.
Okay.
Big sheep.
Big sheep. We're going to show them the big sheep.
I don't know what to expect. This is tense.
It's a big...
I just know it's a big sheep. That's all I know.
A sheep as big as Godzilla.
Sheepzilla.
Sheepzilla.
Big
That would
sheep.
change the noise. Oh, wow. That
Holy
is a big
Wow.
Wait a minute. Here, let's zoom in on that. Here, wait.
And it's a
Pull
boy.
it back.
Hang on.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
That's
It is
huge.
Sheepzilla.
And it's a boy. Hang on. Just gonna jump
Sheepzilla.
check.
Oh, really?
It is.
We got to look underneath.
Yeah, it's a boy.
Oh, wow. Look at the balls on him.
Oh my God.
That's what she said.
He's like,
He's got big wool balls.
oh, I miss you guys. We're about 3.5 hours away from Perth, so
Wow.
yeah, it's been good.
Wow.
Nikki, if I may ask, what's the status? What's been the status lately of the fires over there?
So where we are at the moment, it's actually winter-ish down here. We've had winter for the past 3 days, just rain and a little bit stormy. But up in Perth, apparently the temperature's been 32 plus, so they've been hot while we've been cold. So, but yeah, we don't have much fires at the moment that we know of. So,
At least the temperatures dropped down.
hey, you know Nick. Oi, look, it's Nick. You know Nick.
Hi there.
Hey, hi.
Hi.
Oh, she's just adorable.
Hi. Yeah, and there's Dom, and there's Nick, and there's Kat, and there's Pickles, known as Tom's World.
Hey, look, you don't gotta keep calling me like Pickles and stuff. Yep. I'm just saying.
And there's Jill, and there's all other people.
Yeah, he really doesn't like it when you call him Pickles all the time.
There's Jill. Yeah, no, it's been good. We've been to a lot of locations around WA, so, and they'll be up on my Facebook page. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
We'll all
That's
see it.
amazing.
Yeah, well, it's good. It's good. Well, I'm glad at least. I mean, we're definitely glad that you guys are okay. You guys made it out of there from these fires, but hopefully, you guys will be able to head back home soon.
Yeah. As I said, we've got 2-hour drive, so not too far, but we'll make it.
Yeah, far enough.
Cemetery. Oh wow, that cemetery is huge. Hang on. Oh, we're not going that way. Yes. No. Okay. Yep. No. Husband's driving. Okay. Husband's driving. So, yeah. God, it's hot. And congratulations, Nick, on being an aunt. Cool again.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, my niece was just here earlier again today because as you probably saw earlier, today's my dad's birthday, so my sister decided to drop her off so for a brief period so she could spend basically birthday time with her now grandfather. So it was fun for the two of them.
Very cute.
That's nice.
Awesome.
All they really did actually was just really watch TV together. That's all my dad wanted to do today.
Did he watch Godzilla?
No, he's actually been watching Fargo lately.
I love that one.
Good movie.
Oh, wow.
No, not the movie.
The series.
TV show.
Oh, the TV show.
Yeah. I'm on it. I'm hooked on it.
All right. Leon says congratulations, Nick.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, Nikki. Glad everything's going well with you.
Yeah, we're doing well. Yeah, I'm looking toward being back from holidays soon. So be able to join you guys properly again. So.
Oh, Nikki. I want to let you know this. If you do plan, are you planning on coming back to this next week?
I think she said next week.
Probably next week if I can. If
Okay.
I can't, it'll probably be the 1st of February.
Oh,
because
I
school
gotcha.
doesn't go back until then. So yeah, just with Vera being around and stuff, I don't think it'd be suitable to be on. But yeah, I'll try next week.
Okay, because next week I already have a movie in mind. I'm planning on covering Dawn of the Dead.
Oh wow, awesome!
The original or the remake?
Original.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, either way, it's cool.
Either one.
It's a legendary film.
Either one's good. That's why I have both.
I think
that's good.
Tom Savini did do the original, didn't he?
No, George A. Romero did.
No. I mean the makeup in the original and all that. Because he was supposed to be in the original Night of the Living Dead, but then he got drafted and had to go away.
Yep.
So when he came back, he worked on every movie with him after that.
That's right.
Oh, that's cool. Could we also throw in Shaun of the Dead as well, so we can do like all three?
Oh my God,
that's definitely on the list. That's definitely on
you
the
got
list.
red
Okay,
on
cool. Sorry, say that again, Tom. I love it. I love Shaun of the Dead.
Can't go wrong with
funny.
Shaun
Oh,
of the
good.
Dead.
Me too.
Yeah, it's great.
Simon Pegg.
Oh yeah.
Well, the combination of those two were those two, both of those actors in Shaun of the Dead. They went on. They did a bunch of movies together, and they are always great together.
Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, yes.
Nick
They
Frost,
also appeared as zombies briefly in one scene of Land of the Dead.
Really?
Oh, they really did.
You know, it would have been even better if he had the white shirt on with the little bit of red on the pocket. Oh my god, that would have been great.
You got red on
you. You got red on you.
I love it. Love it.
British humor at its best, definitely.
Yes. Oh yes, that's what I love about it. Yes. Oh wait, did we lose her?
Oh. No, we're good.
Oh yeah, you just went out for a second.
Yeah. Just overtaking a truck at the moment, so.
I gotcha. Yeah, but so like Godzilla has like such a powerful message that even is still relevant to this day. You know, as far as use of weapons that could lead to dire, like some serious consequences for us and Earth itself.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Really, it's so deep. The message, just what can be seen as the power is actually destruction.
Yep, that's basically what Oppenheimer feels.
You look at Godzilla in this case, it's like you think to yourself at first that it's just a creature of itself that's creating this, all this destruction in this case in all Japan. When reality is, it had to happen. It had to, of course, not necessarily have been created by man, but had been brought up to the surface. So in the end, even though Godzilla is often referred to as like a force of nature, in the end, it's kind of more of a man-made result because, had in this, let's say in this case, say if this actually truly happened, if World War II never, or any of these weapons were never created, we never would have all of these problems. So in the end, it's more of a man-made result than a force of nature, as they say in these movies.
I mean, that's open to interpretation, really. I mean,
that's so true.
There is a bit of nuclear physics in nature as well.
Yeah.
Well,
as far as the planet is concerned, not talking like out in the woods or anything like that, but so I mean, he could have been formed by nature completely. Maybe like a little baby lizard made its way down to the core of the earth, and made it just far enough down where it didn't get burned, but it got enough like radiation and stuff and mutated into Godzilla. Who knows?
I was going to say the radiation could have also helped it too, because they do say in some versions that the reason why Gojira in this case was so malevolent in the original film was that not only was he formed of nuclear radiation, but the atomic bomb testings apparently had also killed several other members of his species. And that's another reason why he's malevolent, is that he's more or less kind of taking revenge on the human race for killing his kind, if you will, the last survivors.
Yeah,
true.
That's true.
Which would explain why there'd be a second Godzilla in the very next movie, which is, well, he wasn't called Godzilla at first, but he was called Gigantus the Fire Monster, but later became known as Godzilla Raids Again.
Yep. And then, which introduces the first of many monsters that Godzilla becomes associated with or goes to war against. The first monster that Godzilla encounters is become known as Anguirus.
That's right. And here's an interesting fact about this movie. Yes, it's the last Godzilla movie they made in black and white, but it's also, to date, the only Godzilla movie in which every time Godzilla breathes, his dorsal fins do not glow when he breathes his atomic breaths. That's the only one where his dorsal fins or his spines don't glow when he fires his atomic breath.
Well, didn't they change it up a little bit each time, though? Like little details here and there?
Yeah, they did. At first, they didn't. I guess they didn't really bother with doing it.
Yeah.
But then as time went by and more films were made, they kind of played around with it.
I mean, granted, there were a chunk of films of Godzilla made in a small period of time back in the day where he did not really change it. What the hell is that?
Anguirus.
The very first,
It looks like the Hodag.
Kind of does.
Yeah. I mean, Anguirus is the very first monster that Godzilla fights.
What do you kick him across? Just.
I mean,
He kind of looks like he'd be about as big as his foot.
It's like an angry Sonic the Hedgehog.
There you go. I like that. An angry Sonic.
Teenage Mutant Hedgehog.
Oh yeah,
but that was his first ever monster he fought,
and eventually they become allies. So, and up until Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, where Anguirus lost a fight against Mechagodzilla.
Can I ask, how do they become allies? Because do they even speak the same language, or
it's implied that they do? Yes.
Okay.
They use that actually in and it seems kind of childish, but they actually did something like that in the movie Godzilla versus Gigan. Oh, we just lost Nikki. Yeah, and they use like
I absorbed her into my body.
They make all these noises where it's like they're basically speaking. In Japan, they actually use speech bubbles, like when they're speaking, but it's sometimes a little bit hard to hear because it almost sounds like a record like scratch when they're talking. It's kind of hard to tell, but that's obvious that that's their way of understanding their language.
With Tom, because we were talking about Sonic, on the water level where he has to like suck in the bubble to stay alive. Like I just imagined it with Tom going like with the bubble.
Nikki just got back. She said the connection just went away.
Oh.
Yeah, they are driving through the country, so yeah, like connections bound to go in and out. So
they made a creature similar to that. Just to it's kind of like a what do you call it? They made it up and made stories about it to create tourism to the town. And they
like
called it the Hodag. They called it the Hodag. It's in Rhinelander, Wisconsin. And it is a very screwed up, messed up beast.
Brad.
Brad.
Brad's here.
But over time, because the story's gotten told so much and people actually believe in this thing, but the town record says we developed this to boost tourism. That's what it was. That's the whole story behind this. But people say, oh, I saw it in the woods over here. I saw it in the woods over there. So now people actually believe that the thing exists.
This sounds like a job for This Is Tom's World. Go and investigate Tom.
Well, you know what's even crazier is that, and I don't know if it would have the exact type of resemblance, but we talked about in this case that
Dad came in.
We talk about in this case like with Anguirus kind of looking a little bit like Hodag. Well, there's actually another kaiju that kind of resembles the Hodag, if you will. And I'm trying to look for that right now, but damn, where the hell is it? Okay,
well, I'd like to meet the person, but he's probably not alive anymore because this thing was created way, way before my time even. And how they came up with this creature or this weird looking thing, I'll never know.
I think it was in the 1890s, I believe.
Now they got a big statue.
They do.
That right in the smack middle or something of Rhinelander downtown.
Is it as scary as Mr. Blobby?
They even have a festival once a year called the Hodag Festival.
That's right. They do.
Yeah. Oh, here. Billy is saying, how do you compare this with King of the Monsters, the original American version? I feel like the Japanese version was superior. Like just the focus on Japan's like culture after World War II and just focusing. Yeah, it's like they introduced like the American version. They introduced the character Steve Martin to show like America's point of view of what was going on in the events of Gojira. But
well, and the craziest thing too is when Raymond Burr was in this film, he wasn't actually in Japan when they shot his his scenes. They just shot it. Actually, I think it was in the smallest studio they had in California at that time. So it was all his scenes were all shot in America.
Well, I think a lot of things done in Japan, like the animation and the movies and the video games, they're all superior. Perfect example, Super Mario 3.
I remember buying that at Woolworths.
Now, back when that came out, I had some connections in the video game industry, and I got my hands on I had to get a special adapter to play it in my Nintendo, but I got my hands on the Japanese version of Super Mario 3.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
I wonder, did they have all the
Now,
same little secrets in there? Like,
no,
you know,
the
white
secrets
blocks
were
where
all
you bend
the
on
secrets were all the same.
them?
Okay, here's the catch. They figured we didn't know how to play games very well, so they made it a little easier. Okay.
Well,
Now you get that. If you anybody remembers Mario 3, you became eventually you could become Raccoon Mario. You get hit once, you go down to being Big Mario. You get hit again, you go down to being Little Mario. You get hit again, you're dead. Okay.
Right, it was the same with all the costumes, the frog.
Right. But that's how the American game went. In the Japanese version, you get hit once as Raccoon Mario, you're down to Little Mario.
Oh.
You get hit again, and you're dead.
Wahoo!
I've seen that.
Two strikes
So,
and you're out.
Here, Billy has a couple of questions for us. Billy's addressing you, Tom. Did you buy Super Mario Brothers 3 because of the Wizard, the movie?
No, okay, I was already hooked on Super Mario Brothers from when I first got my original NES set. It was actually the one that came with the power pad. So it came with the track and field game, and it also came with the Mario Brothers / Duck Hunt game. But it didn't come with the gun, which is weird. But yeah, I know I had to buy the gun separate. But from that moment, I was hooked on Mario Brothers. Super Mario 2 I was like, it was different. I mean, I liked it better as time went on. But Super Mario Brothers 3, I was psyched about because I saw. I by that point I subscribed to Nintendo Power, so I already knew about it before it came out. And I saw all the screen grabs, and I was like, I gotta play this game. This looks awesome.
I had like a subscription to Nintendo Power.
Yep, I still have them somewhere in the house here, like all the issues I got. And man, did I get in trouble for calling the gameplay counselors as much as I did? Woo! When you got stuck on a game, you called the gameplay counselors, and it cost like so much for the first minute, so much for every additional minute, and I'd have them on there for like a half hour, 45 minutes.
Gosh.
Wow.
I got grounded from using the phone a few times.
Okay, this question to everybody. Everybody's asking, have you seen Godzilla -1 yet? I have. I actually have.
I haven't.
No, I haven't
not
seen
yet.
it.
Wanting to.
And you guys should definitely see it because I mentioned this earlier in the podcast. I'm thinking, I never thought in 1,000 years I would be saying this, but they actually made this. They ended up making a Godzilla movie that's better than this one. Godzilla -1 is definitely the best Godzilla movie I've ever seen.
I wonder what a director, original Gojira director Shiro Honda would think if he was still alive today to see what this film was, and also even Raymond Burr himself, because they were, if you look at both the Japanese and American side, they were basically the pioneers for Godzilla.
Well, I think they'd be proud.
They probably would. And interesting fact too, because Kate, you brought up before about the one from 1998. There was an interview of Raymond Burr, which sadly was a year before he passed away in 1993, where he said, even right to his death, he actually was trying to get the rights to make an American Godzilla version of his own. Because reason why is he said even after 40-something years, after almost 40 years after the Americanized version came out, he said he always liked Godzilla. So he had been trying to make he had been trying to make an American film version of Godzilla ever since long before the 1998 one was ever made. So if anyone should be given the American credit of trying to bring Godzilla to American theaters, even though it never came to fruition because he passed away. I would still give Raymond Burr that credits.
Because he is one wild and crazy guy.
Okay, Brad, again with this.
Martin.
Brad.
Again with this, Brad. Because you know what, Brad, there actually is one movie that upsets me even more than Jaws the Revenge. So
the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street.
No, worse. Nope, there's something worse. It's a movie made by the notoriously bad filmmaker Uwe Boll, and it's
what?
House of the Dead.
That was a good game, though.
Yeah,
the game is good. The movie is horrible.
That game was on Dreamcast.
Yeah. Well, here's how I'll explain this. You know, Nick, years ago, when I had that cold virus, and it caused me to have a ruptured eardrum. You were there when this happened, Nick.
Yeah, I was there. I remember that.
Yep. I was lying in agony, and then I found out that I had temporarily lost for a few months, like 10% of my hearing. And the reason why I bring this up is because sitting through House of the Dead is even worse than that. So don't watch it.
Would have been better to watch it during that time where you lost the hearing.
Yeah. House of the Dead is worse than eardrum rupture.
Yeah, well.
That's really
I would argue that the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street is still just as bad. I'm saying, man.
There's nothing like the originals when it comes to horror, the classic.
Robert Englund is the only
one that can play Freddy Krueger.
But the guy that I talked about in that little fan made thing where they used the same dude from New Nightmare, the kid from that, and he reprised his character in the fan made film. That dude that played Freddy was like spot on Robert Englund. I mean, you really got to watch that. Dylan's New Nightmare, it's called.
Okay. That's good.
It's not long. It's like 20 minutes.
Oh.
I'm really sorry, guys, but I have to go now. I have a few things to sort out. But I just thank you so much for having me on the live, and I will see you guys soon. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
It's always a good
care.
Thank you so much. So, yeah, speak to you soon, guys.
See ya.
Okay. So I just uncovered another interesting fact for Gojira, and I don't know if you guys have known this, but they supposedly said the costume for Gojira, it stands out from all the other costumes that they used. So like in the later films, most of the time Godzilla was charcoal black, even though he's always described as green.
Yeah.
Although he doesn't truly appear green until Godzilla 2000, although even the poster still showed him green. But in the case with Gojira, they said it was the only, and this was the reason why they actually partially shot the film in black and white. Even though he's also described in green in this film, in the original, they say it is the only Godzilla costume they made where it was actually neither green or black. It was actually brown when they shot it.
Wow.
Oh, man. Wow. Oh, here. Billy's asking if any of us have seen Moonfall. I'm guessing he was referring to that. He's referring to that one that came out in recent years. The one that was directed by Roland Emmerich, who directed the 98 version of Godzilla.
I don't think I've seen it.
I'm not sure
I haven't
either. I don't think so.
Finished. I haven't finished watching it. I think it's a fairly new movie.
It is.
Yeah.
Wait. Kevin Bacon is Freddy? Huh.
What?
Yeah,
No.
I heard that.
No.
Yeah, you didn't hear about that?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about that.
Wow.
I mean, I like Kevin Bacon. Don't get me wrong. He's a great actor. I loved him in so many movies, and that one TV show he did where he played like the detective, and he was going after the guy that thought he was like Edgar Allan Poe or whatever. But
oh yeah,
no.
That reminds me of a joke that I always made about Hollow Man. That scene where she's like where Linda's like setting Kevin Bacon on fire when he was invisible. And I'm just thinking, looks like she prefers bacon extra crispy.
That's right.
That's funny.
Yeah, like
I
I
liked
did that
him in. Go ahead.
What? No, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I like Kevin Bacon in Stir of Echoes because that was creepy.
That was a good movie.
Yeah.
The sequel, not so much, but the original was a good movie.
Yeah, the original.
But the sequel didn't have Kevin Bacon in it, so.
Well, Kevin Bacon, he's done a lot of great work. I liked him in Footloose. I liked him in Tremors.
I was thinking you were going to say Tremors.
Yeah, Tremors. Well, Tremors. He needs to reprise his role in Tremors. They need to make a new Tremors and have him in it.
They almost did. I mean, there was a trailer for it, but it didn't go further than that, which he was disappointed in because he always wanted to reprise his role as Val after all this time.
That's a great character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's always wanted to go back to it. Yeah, Tremors is a great franchise. I mean, the first one is obviously the best out of all of them.
Yeah, I mean, I've mentioned it before. I did enjoy the one where they went back in time to like the Western time, and Michael Gross was in it.
Yeah,
the fourth.
I guess as his ancestor. Yeah,
yes,
that wasn't bad either. I like that one.
It was great. Oh, one point that I did want to bring up.
Kevin Bacon was in Friday the 13th original, what Scott just said.
Yes, I wanted to bring this up. The end. I wanted to bring up the ending of Gojira because, it had a pretty tragic ending. Like, it's where they finally defeat Godzilla, but it was also Serizawa gave up his life so that way he could there would be no knowledge. His knowledge of the oxygen destroyer would be completely gone. No one would be able to create it. So, that sacrifice that he made for the future of mankind, that was just wow.
So sad.
It was.
Well, it's like what I said earlier. I was saying last night when we were watching is that even though he sacrificed his own life, to save humankind, you could again with everyone being there, you could also see the scientists and some others actually were mourning over Godzilla himself because they still didn't believe that he should be executed, if you will. So in the end, there were no winners. Many people died as a result of him. And now they as the human race had to take a life of, in this case, what they originally would have believed would have been the last of its species that pretty much was here first before humans got there. So it was quite a tragedy on both sides.
I have a question. Right. What do you think Godzilla being just like the film of it, but like what do you think it's representing for the film, the monster?
The monster itself, I believe, is demonstrating just nature's wrath.
And the consequences what humankind can create when it comes to like nuclear disaster. Oh, Irene from Japan. Speaking of which, I actually sent her the link. Good to see you, Irene. I had to tell her about this, so I sent her the link.
Oh, great.
You know what song is going through my head. Even though it's not her name because it's an R, not an L.
That is awesome. Yep.
Come on, Irene.
I love Godzilla.
I know.
Irene, I'm same way. I love Godzilla ever since I was a little kid, renting the Godzilla movies from the Blockbuster and just watching all the monsters that he faces. And I love the new one, Godzilla -1, arguably the best Godzilla movie ever.
See, I often wonder too, because I don't know if you guys have also known this, but it was only just a couple years ago that the original suit actor of Godzilla had passed away. He actually passed away in 2017. And I often wonder how it must have really been for him. His name was Haru Nakajima. And I often wonder how difficult it must have been to play the character because they say the costume they used in that movie was very difficult. It wasn't like the later costumes because it was heavy. It was hot. I mean, he passed out several times while in costume. So but he still apparently enjoyed it. And he ended up playing Godzilla and several of the other Godzilla. other monsters in tow, including once King Kong and King Kong Escapes. He played different Godzilla and different monster characters between 1954 all the way up till his retirement, his last one, which was Godzilla versus Gigan in 1972. So almost 20 years he was a suit actor.
It might be wrong, but I so want to see that footage of them passing out because I don't know. I just would think it's funny because I know it didn't kill them, but so, it was just, I don't know. Just be funny to see Godzilla be walking just all of a sudden.
They had to like put in arrows, I think, at times, like to keep him cooled off. But even then, that still wasn't enough.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe he landed on a building and they used it anyway.
Maybe.
Oh, check it out.
I wouldn't doubt it because knowing how it ends, I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, seriously, Nick, we are setting up a night, getting everybody together. We're watching this movie. You got to see it. Seriously.
I still want to see it in theaters. I got to see it in theaters before that.
Oh, here. I wanted to get to this question. To answer this, Billy, I have not yet because I don't have Apple TV Plus, but I will get on that soon. I still got it.
Same.
Yeah, especially if
I like Kurt Russell. Yeah, he's a good. Yeah, I like him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, he did a good job playing Elvis.
He did a good job in a lot of his movies, man. Even the stupid ones like
New York.
Overboard was stupid, but he was still good in it.
Escape from New York.
Yeah, and L.A.
L.A.
And Bruce Campbell was in Escape from L.A. Was it?
I think so.
Although he did a movie to this day. He did a movie. I swear it's him, Kurt Russell, and I think it's Sylvester Stallone. I think
Tango and Cash.
I got
it. I cannot watch the movie without falling asleep halfway.
I love that movie,
and I think it was Tequila Sunrise. I think
especially the scene where they're in the shower and they're arguing back and forth in the prison, and then Stallone's like, "Yeah, well, I don't know," and he said, "Yeah, well, you don't know." Shit.
Oh yeah, Tango and Cash.
That one was awesome.
No, it was Tequila Sunrise. This is the one they kept falling asleep through.
Sylvester.
I don't remember who that right offhand.
Here, hey Nick, Billy's asking this. Did
the Americans had Japanese war brides back then in World War II and then bring them home?
I don't know about that.
I really don't know, but I do know though, and this is, I know we got to end things, soon, but I'm just going to say this, whether that happened or not, I have no clue, but I do know though, when you look at obviously, and it's not just for World War II. This is even what's going on with our current wars, but you see this time again with so many wars that, I think I talked about it last night, as a matter of fact, after the show, where, she said, Irene said she knew some people did, and they are haunted. But that's not only that. There were times that you had people from both sides during World War II where some of them just didn't even want to fight anymore. Like, it was just like, because there was a television show my mom had watched, a World War II show. I can't remember what it was called, but it involved that later part of the war when, America was fighting Japan. And there were at least one or a few American soldiers that were injured, obviously during the war. They were still alive, but it was amazing to see though. They got medical assistance, but it wasn't from their military. It was actually from the Japanese. They took them in, and these weren't doctors. These were Japanese soldiers that took them in. So it was quite obvious to me, because I learned a lot more from watching this series. I just wish I knew what it was, where people from both sides didn't even want to fight, and they were willing, even if it was considered traitorism, they were willing to help people, like whether they were dead or dying. And if that was the case where some of these Japanese soldiers were helping out American soldiers, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised that America did the same thing. Because in the end, it's like, there's just no point of fighting anymore. So it's just as far as like the brides or whatever, I'm not sure, but there were loose alliances, even though it wasn't allowed, but still that did happen a few times.
Yeah, it's happened in a few wars. The Korean War.
Think about it. How long can you sit there in a battlefield as a soldier and sit there and kill people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, how much of it are you going to take before your breaking point?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Here,
like
Nick, look what Irene's saying.
swords were stolen from families. My grandfather had to buy them back from the people. Wow. There are bones still scattered on Shima Island. Recovery mission is bringing the bones back to Tokyo. I would not be the least bit surprised.
Yeah. I think like it's like even though America and Japan we've had our unpleasantness in the past. I'm just glad that we over time we've been able to make amends and form a good alliance between one another. Benefit from one another today.
Yeah. And obviously I've said it a lot of times. Irene and I, we talk a lot. I mean, she's fantastic. Hey, Chantel, what's up, Chantel? Irene and I, we always chat a lot. We always check in. We talk about certain things. Of course, obviously, she just reached out to me the other day about if you guys heard about that earthquake that occurred in Japan, as well as the tsunami.
Wasn't it like a 7.5 magnitude or something like that?
7.6.
7.6. But yeah, it's
that's close.
But she actually sent me photographs when it was live on television. And I was in shock when I was like, oh my God, is everyone okay?
They had water coming after that from like tsunami waves.
Yeah. From what I heard from Irene will probably say this, but she lives on the Pacific side, so she was safe, her family was safe. But of course, I still send my prayers out for Japan that were affected by the earthquake and tsunami. But that's absolutely true, Irene.
Hey, yeah, sorry guys. I was just responding to what Irene was saying. I was just saying, yes, that's true, Irene.
And proud of it too.
Yes.
We all need to be friends and get along. We have to stop all the stupid crap that goes on in this world.
Especially the wars now.
We're all human.
Yeah. And you see a lot of times. I mean, I was just watching. If you want to show like a true alliance, like I just recently saw just a few days ago.
I saw that report. I actually read about.
Yeah, I saw that too. They've been talking about it all over the news.
Yes, I was shocked when I read that. Man.
I don't know if you guys have seen the footage of the earthquake and tsunamis.
I've seen it. Yeah, I was watching.
So, yeah, I think I speak for everyone when I say I mean my heart goes out to those who are going through this difficult time in Japan with this earthquake and with that plane collision. I'm really hoping that Japan gets the help it needs.
Absolutely. So. Yeah, it was scary when I saw that kind of stuff. And Billy actually just wrote something that really makes a lot of sense. We're all friends, and as the Beatles said it, all you need is love.
Yep.
Now here, check this out what Chantel said. I was watching it live. First the earthquake, then the plane on fire on the runway. I need an airport. I saw that happen real time live.
Man.
Oh, it happened. That airport is close to her house.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
Man.
That's some crazy stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
Mother Nature is a bitch. Sometimes.
It really is.
It really is.
What I always do a lot, and this is like another way of showing my friendship in this case, not only for Irene, but for anyone else in Japan, is you guys remember last year I did this where I was, keeping an eye and documenting typhoons that were in development that were going on.
There's a train coming through.
Kind of being like a meteorologist, if you will. And I was actually able to keep updates on with Irene to let her know, about where a storm is developing, where it's at, which way it looks like it's going, and kind of keeping up, giving her updates on if it's going to be heading to their general direction or not. So another way of trying to help out in a way.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, to answer your question, Billy, I'm not sure if it's considered horror, but
more suspense.
I was going to say they're more thriller. They're more thriller movies than horror films.
Yeah. But they're still great movies. But
yeah, they are. Yes. But all right, well, guys, I think we gotta end this here. There's another show that's waiting to come on. So
we got to end this because we're already.
I also got to be up in 6.5 hours, and I still got to put the trash out.
Let me guess. It's for a video of This Is Tom's World, isn't it?
That's right. So this is Tom's trash run.
Oh, the typhoon of the film. I remember that.
Oh,
and I was forecasting that basically.
Wow.
Yeah, I have a buddy of mine who was on here earlier, Angelo. He's from the Philippines, so he's mentioned that.
I got a few people in the Philippines too. A few paranormal investigators that live in the Philippines.
Yep.
Yes, love and light to you too, Irene.
Yep. Oh, and Chris says, thank you for your incredible stream. You're very welcome. Yeah, and this won't be the last Godzilla movie we cover. We're definitely going to be covering more of these. We're going to be covering more of these. Yeah.
Let me just share this real quick, what Kate just wrote. That is so true, yes.
Yes. Yeah, so, my prayers go out to Japan during this difficult time.
Wow.
Yes.
But overall, though, I mean, just to kind of, end things, I mean, like you always say, Don, I mean, you look at something like Godzilla, I mean, that will continue on for as long as movies are made. I mean, that is Godzilla,
no
in this
doubt.
case, true legend. I mean, now you see from where we are now to where he first started. Think about it, between 1954 and now 2023. Well, now 2024, he's now appeared in 40 different films in 2 television series.
Yes,
and that does not include. As I always say, that does not include the 1998 shit-stand American remake.
Yeah, 33 of these films. Yeah, and 33 of these films were from Japan alone.
That's correct.
Plus, it was a Saturday morning cartoon, as we saw.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, so guys, I'm sorry, but we got to end this.
We got to end this.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to join us next week as we cover the original Dawn of the Dead.
Oh.
I've wanted to get back into a zombie movie for a while now, and I feel like Dawn of the Dead would be a very good one for us to cover.
Hey, you know what they say? When there is no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
Yes.
I already am.
Oh man. Oh wait.
That's your question, Tom.
How many pickles can Pickle Tom pick if a Pickle Tom pick pickles with a pick? Well, a pick is probably only about, like, at most, maybe we'll say 5 inches, and you figure each pickle is about an inch, so it's probably 5 pickles. Maybe 6 if they squish.
That's what she said.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.